What is going on, everybody? It's Alex back at you with another video, and today it's time to welcome you to the fourth round of this mock draft. So first time we've ever done round 4. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Of course, if you do, drop a like. There we go. Combine the two words. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. And you know what? Because we have a lot of new prospects, I have a lot of new players that I have scouted right over here. Feel free to pause the video and randomly see it. I purposely made it a little bit fast so you guys don't get to see every single thought that I have. But I went through, scouted about like 10, 15 players yesterday in depth. So just so we actually know a little more about what we're talking about. So, of course, show me a little bit of love for that. But at number 103, we're starting off with the Brownies. Now, the Brownies, I think a good spot to go would be some edge depth here. We're in round 4. You can never go wrong with edge depth. Again, you could go corner just because, again, that's another position where you can never get enough depth. This is the one team that probably doesn't need it. So I'm a really big fan of where the Browns are as an organization, as well as their positioning in terms of the future as well as the present. They're doing a great job. And that's why I'm looking at all these guys. And I've scouted everybody except Josh Paschal and D'Angelo Malone and Jeffrey Gunter in this range. So you got Boye Mafe, Isaiah Thomas, Amari Barno, Isaiah Foskey as guys who I've been the main guys I focused on. And there's a guy who I think has unlimited potential. That's Boye Mafe. I had those thoughts from the beginning, but this secured it. He is unbelievably talented. He just needs to polish up, and even if they bring back Jadeveon Clowney, there's nobody better to teach him how to use that raw athleticism, and he has insanely long arms. There's just so much to like about Boye Mafe here. Big fan of this guy. Number 104 for the Jaguars. Another team that could have went edge. I don't really think I have too many edges that I really want to pull the trigger on this round. Isaiah Thomas isn't someone who I'd ever draft. Just going to be honest with you guys. I don't like him at all. Just really terrible prospect in my eyes. Don't know why TDN likes him at all. I mean, Travon Walker is going to be returning. So for you guys who are popping in, seeing if we get any new round 4 guys, McKinley, Walker, those are Henry Toto. Those are guys who are returning along with a plethora of others, including Josh Wiley and Jaleel Billingsley. So at 104, back with the Jags, I think that this is maybe a good spot to go after somebody who can make a big presence in the run game. I'm looking at Phidarian Mathis here, somebody who's going to be a big day 1 impact. But again, these Alabama defensive tackles usually go 5th, 6th round, even if they are pretty talented. You look at a guy like Tyler Davis here. He probably should go back. Again, you're looking at a true junior here. You could probably move up the board, but we're going to be taking him. Big boy, young, out of Clemson, pairing back up with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's a good way to start. So at 105, we got the Panthers back. And this could be a spot where you take a shot at a quarterback like Bailey Zappe, another guy who I decided to scout because I think Tanner McKee's going to return. Will Levis, I think he should return as well for another year. I don't think anybody else, like these two, they're probably going to return. JT Daniels, I think, has to come. He's a true junior. That is so weird. For some reason, I thought JT Daniels was a senior. But regardless, there's a lot of guys who probably will return. Bailey Zappe, not one of them, obviously. He was, I think, the quarterback of some Baptist college, and then he went to Western Kentucky and has been lighting it up, doing a great job there. A guy who I think they could be targeting. However, I don't think a round 4 quarterback is going to solve the job over a guy like PJ Walker, right? So you probably want to get somebody who's an impact player. Your offensive line, especially the guard position, has been terrible. And also left tackle has been too. And I found myself a gem right here, Tyler Smith. You guys need to watch this guy. I have him as probably an early 3rd. He does play left tackle, and he has outstanding strength. I think he probably should play guard at the next level. Just again, I don't know if he is going to be athletic enough in terms of how fast he plays to be able to play left tackle in the NFL, but he has that potential. I do like him as a guard tackle hybrid, and I think he'll be absolutely dominant as an interior offensive lineman. I think he has a similar strength to probably Ed Ingram. He's very powerful up and down in terms of his upper and lower body. So I love Tyler Smith. I think this is a great spot for him. Continuing developing that line is probably the best thing you can do besides adding a new quarterback, which we're probably going to go quarterback next draft. Apologies about the camera. But 106, Alec Lindstrom's already gone, guys. We discussed that in the last video. If you guys are going to be like, how the hell is Alec Lindstrom on the board? I think he is actually probably like a late third anyways, but where's he at? I think we sent him to, Ricky Stromberg decided to return. So we swapped it with Alec Lindstrom. With the Seahawks, this is a team that desperately needs corner. Corner, there's not much I really like besides maybe a guy like Seven Banks isn't a guy I like, actually. Riley Moss out of Iowa. Really good lockdown corner. Nothing special. He is pretty good as an athlete as well. I think he did a high hurdle, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So he has some juice to him. Definitely somebody that could end up being a big impact player later on in his career, especially for a team that is led by Pete Carroll. Number 107 with the Niners. So this is a team that could use a nice juicy wide receiver. Oh, I was about to say jukey wide receiver, not juicy. That was absolutely terrible. Khalil Shakir and Zay Flowers are two guys who I think would be really good options here. I think Zay should return. I've been throwing a lot of shade at Zay, and I still think he's probably a round 4 dude. I have a 4th on him. He is extremely fast. So I think he fits perfectly what the Niners are looking for. Extremely fast, very good with the ball in his hands. Not exactly going to make you miss. I think that he and Tutu Atwell kind of surprised me last year with their lack of ability to make people miss. The big issue with Zay is not his athletic profile. It's his hands. He drops the ball quite a bit, which might be a big red flag to a team like the Niners, but definitely someone who I'm heavily considering for this pick. You could, again, get somebody on the interior. I don't think that's the right move. I really don't. Again, Ro McKinley's not on the board. I'm not a huge fan of many of these safeties in here. Is Bubba Bolden even able to return? He's not. That's really unfortunate. He should have came out last year. He was having like round 4 hype, round 3 hype. Just unfortunate for him, but that's the way the world works. I think we're going to be going that route. So let me know what you guys think, but I think Zay Flowers fits perfectly. He's a really good gadget weapon as well. If you guys wanted a Wan'Dale Robinson, this is your 4th round version of Wan'Dale Robinson. So there you go. Zay Flowers out of BC, also sticking in, I believe, the red and gold. Number 108, we're back with the Seahawks. Now, this is another spot where we could heavily develop the offensive line. I just don't think there's anybody I would really like in here. I looked at quite a few of these guys. Not a big fan. The next guy I'm looking at right now is Tyrese Robinson. He's actually playing right tackle, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I saw him playing right tackle. I don't know why it says projected role left guard. It might have been done before the season. I think he's number 52. So he's definitely somebody who we might be able to add in the future. But for right now, I'm not that enticed with him. Cade Mays, I know they like kids out of Tennessee. So they do definitely look in that realm. And a guy who has played on Georgia and Tennessee's offensive line is somebody who I think would be an excellent addition to this team. You might not exactly need someone like Cade Mays, but developing the offensive line is something that you can never stop doing. So I'm going to get Cade Mays here out of Tennessee. I honestly think that he's heavily underrated. I haven't done a deep dive on him like I have guys like Tyler Smith, but you just look at the base statistics. Cade Mays is built really damn well for the NFL. 109 with the Eagles. So this is a team where you could get a guy like a Justin Ross here and just take a shot and say, what the hell? You do have one position that's missing. Khalil Shakir could be a really interesting one. Another guy who's going to be going to the Senior Bowl. We're going to see him versus all these other dudes. So that might be fun. But honestly, I think the value of if Justin Ross gets healthy, you actually have a really nice boundary target with some size, might be the best move. I think it is. Running back, I don't know why that's a need on here. I don't. It makes no sense to me. Quarterback, you're not going to put Zappe in. You have Gardner Minshew at this point. Tackle, no reason for that either. I don't really get what's up with the ranking system here, but we're going to go Justin Ross out of Clemson. You might as well give him a shot. Worst case scenario, you bust a 4th round pick on a guy who has crazy potential. I don't like Kyle Phillips, by the way. Just don't really think anything special of him. Really good blocker, though. Good team guy right here, but certainly not someone who I'd want on my team. Number 110 for the Falcons. Safety, again, would be something I'd want to go after. Can't do that. Tackle, if you want to look at the tackle and guard prospects, Abraham Lucas is on here, but I don't think right tackle is the issue. Pretty sure you guys are talking about left tackle being more of an issue than anything, and there's nobody in here. Even Kellen Diesch, I wouldn't take him till maybe the 5th or 6th, 5th earliest. So with that, I'm actually going to draft a wide receiver here. I'm going to draft Khalil Shakir. Really, really good wide receiver of Boise State. I was not on the Khalil Shakir hype train at the beginning of the year as him being like wide receiver 5, wide receiver 4. Proud to say, still not the case. But, the guy has some crazy talent. He's really good. But we got to see what happens. This is a team that is certainly open for wide receiver competition. I think that's the right spot for him. For the Colts, now this is a team where we already got their big ass needs besides tackle, but Abraham Lucas again is a right tackle. So that's just a weird thing, man. I think he's a very solid plug and play right tackle, just nothing special to him. I would honestly try to look for somebody. I can't. Zion Nelson has to return. Tyler Vrabel is a guy, if you guys follow me on Twitter, links down in the description, is somebody who I think is undraftable. I really wanted to love him, and I've really tried to, but it's bad. And yeah, I am not a fan of Tyler Vrabel. So that's unfortunate. But with that being said, Abraham Lucas, there's no reason to get him. That's the thing. I'm trying to find a reason to be able to select him. We just can't. Abina Eze, somebody who I'm looking at as well right now, just somebody who has that size, native Nigerian, so he's extremely raw. You can continue to develop him. There's just not many people I like in this 4th round besides maybe running backs. And that's the one thing this team doesn't need. But there are running backs on the board. Kyren Williams is still here. You could look for a team who's looking for a scat back to be moving up into this spot. I wouldn't mind it personally. But you also have guys like Jerome Ford here. I think he's very underrated. I think he should transfer, not come out. To be fair, next year's class is like insane. So really weird positioning. And we can see teams, even like the Jets, move up for a guy. You can look at Britton Brown here, just more of that power back. But it's just a weird spot. It's a weird spot. But we are going to be trading up here because Kyren Williams is still on the board. He's been doing very well. But there's a guy in Tyler Badie who's been doing an excellent job for Missouri. Pretty sure he put up like 2,000 yards. I think he had like some weird record where it was the most like 400-yard games or something. You guys can remind me what that record is. But when you look at all the teams on the board, a team that would be looking probably for somebody to be a scat pack would probably be the Texans. You do want to find, well, we'll see what value they have here. So, this is an in-division trade. I just want to see where the Texans are at, but at least they do have a pick here. A little bit unfortunate because that's a team where I think they can go after a guy like Kyren Williams. Another team that could probably use a scat back. You could look at the Raiders. They always find somebody to patch up that receiving back work. Titans seem to have a weird ass rotation in there. It's a weird spot in the NFL because there's a lot of teams that have really solid running backs. And it's unfortunate because next year there's going to be absolutely dominant running backs coming out. Already got one for the Buccaneers. Seahawks don't have that vibe to them. They don't really go with scat backs. The Cardinals wouldn't be a bad option though. I know my Cardinals fans are going to hate it, but at this point, we might as well try to test our luck. If we give 2 5s and it gets that 4, that's going to be perfectly fine for me. Just the Colts, one, don't have anything that's really good for them in this draft. But also, if you're going to be losing Edmonds, you don't usually want to pay a running back, also with injury problems. So you might as well get a guy like Kyren Williams. He does have another gear to him, and there's a lot to like about Kyren. It's just he's not what we were hoping with that 1st-round caliber running back. In the 4th, you might as well, though, right? Like really good receiving back. You can get Eric Gray. You can get Jerome Ford. You can get Tyler Badie. But I chose Kyren Williams here because I know a lot of teams will like that Big Ten experience. Number 112 with the Giants. Now, this is a team I could see taking a shot on a quarterback. Why not go Bailey Zappe here? If you guys give me, well, actually, I do know why. There's linebackers here. Where is he? Did I already take Chad Mama? I think I did to the Browns. That would be an excellent fit if I did. I absolutely, yeah. Oh, Chad Mama's the real deal. If you guys need to watch him, by the way. This is a team where I could see them going after a linebacker. I'm not a big fan of him. I used to hype up, what's his name? Where is he at? Is it Kobe McLean? I would never take him. He gets like bullied around just by college linemen. He's not going to be good in the NFL. We're going to take him. We're going to go the hype train with Bailey Zappe out of Western Kentucky. This is a team that's taken 4th-round quarterbacks even when the quarterback situation's okay. I think it's a perfect spot to just test your luck. 113 with the Saints. This is a team that definitely could use extra cornerback depth. And Marcus Jones, I couldn't find any tape on him in the short term. I don't like looking, unless you're looking at offensive line, at more of the like up close, because you need to see all 22 to see how they're actually performing down the field, because that's not cool. And for you guys who watch all 22 tape, I'm pretty sure we're all getting it from the same source. They have not been doing a great job at all. So pretty big disappointment there, because I've been very excited to see a lot about guys like Marcus Jones here. Fortunately, not the case, but there are still some really good ones on the board. And I think a team that could be needing a safety in the near future could be looking at a guy like Sevyn Banks. He's not this bad. Just when he was being put in that first round category, he was that bad. So Sevyn Banks at this spot, far from something that's terrible. Number 114 with the Ravens. It's a good spot for Phidarian Mathis. Honestly, I wouldn't be a terrible spot for him. Looking at other guys who could be in here, Corey Durden deserves a little bit of respect. I don't know why he's ranked that poorly. Don't think he's a fourth rounder, but just got to give him a shout out. Dante Stills, I know that we got a big fan of him in the chat, but I just always thought his brother was a lot better. And I'm happy to see that maybe he's taken a big step this year, but I haven't watched enough West Virginia tape this year to basically justify it. So 114, Cade Otton could be a pretty good pick here. Not a bad option at all. He is a solid tight end with a lot of upside, but I like Greg Dulcich here out of UCLA. Pretty solid, balanced tight end. I think that'd be a good addition to the team. 115 with the Dolphins. This is a team where, honestly, you could go after a guy like Abraham Lucas and fix that right tackle spot. Not a huge issue because left tackle is obviously more, but Abraham Lucas will also play very well from the get-go and is a guy that you can just add to your squad. Again, interior offensive line, I'm not a big fan of anybody left on the board. So I'm going to go Abraham Lucas, hope maybe he can move to left tackle, but he also will be a solidified, solid addition to the backups, at least. You're in the fourth round. Get a guy who can possibly make a big impact. Abraham Lucas is a veteran. He's somebody who can at least do something for this team, especially if injuries pop up. 116 for the Chiefs. So I think that the Chiefs, I know that you guys did not want to go corner. I've heard that loud and clear. Which corner did we get for the Chiefs, though? I'm bugging on that. Alontae Taylor, not bad option. Slot corner wouldn't be bad, though. A slot corner safety hybrid. Again, THT, not a terrible option here. Probably not the best in terms of, you look at him versus run game, probably not the best. But when you get a guy who is related to LT and he plays in the Big 12, he plays pretty damn well as well. And he's had mentors like Trevon Merrick. I'd be willing to take him. You could look at running backs here, though. I do know that getting someone like Jerome Ford would be a very nice addition. Someone who has a lot of breakaway speed would be a really good addition to this team. So I'm going to do that. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. Jerome Ford out of Cincinnati. He's been lighting it up this year. I don't know why people aren't talking about him more. Very good running back. Former Alabama commit, actually. I think he was Alabama transfer to Cincinnati. 117 with the Chargers. This is a team that could use somebody who could pound the rock, but somebody who could also use someone to stretch the ball deep. You can look at a guy like Reggie Roberson here. I just don't think any of these guys are going to outmuscle what's already there. Justin Shorter, somebody who I'd like to give a shout out to. He is pretty much a worse version of what we already see in the kid out of Arkansas. I'm literally just Traylon Burks. So gotta give him a little bit of a shout out. But this is a team that could go after a corner here, and whether it's going to be Stephen Gilmore or even Storm Duck remains to be unseen. I think Storm Duck will return. I do, so I'm not going to draft him this round. But I think Stephen Gilmore deserves a little bit more hype than he's going to be going earlier just because of the name. He deserves a little bit more hype than what he should be. Abraham Lucas would have been gone by this pick, by the way. Just saying. I know Darian Kennard, I think, was taken in the first round, but still, you can never go wrong. This team definitely could probably use somebody with some athleticism on their front. I think Tyreek Smith could be a really good addition. You have Sam Hubbard there out of Ohio State already. A local kid, really good for rotation, going to be there at the Senior Bowl. Just extra depth at this point. The team doesn't need much, and I'm not a huge fan. Maybe you could have went Phidarian Mathis there. I just don't think he's going to be going that high. With the Jets. Now, the Jets could use somebody who can power through the ground game. Zamir White, Zeus could be the dude for you. He could be. You could look at Britton Brown here as well. We're going to actually, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun. I haven't gone Zeus ever. So we're probably going to go Zeus here unless I find somebody who's been disgustingly underrated. I can't find that. So we are going to be going Zeus. Zamir White out of Georgia. Just more of that power back style. He's going to be pretty damn well complementary to a guy like Michael Carter. Number 120 with the Dolphins. I think you guys are back on the board. You are. So this is a team that could also use a receiver. You could look at Trey Turner here out of VT. I don't mind that. He's pretty damn good. But I think this team could use a big ass guy like Justin Shorter out of Florida. Very close in proximity and somebody who is going to probably be drafted a lot higher than people think. You know, with the Treylon Burks hype, you're pretty much getting a better version or a better value for a worse version of Treylon Burks. Jets back on the board. So this is a team that could use a center. And I think Donovan West is a mid-fourth for me. And this is a perfect spot for him. Definitely someone who I'd be willing to test out at center or right guard. Put him wherever you want. Nothing spectacular, but definitely solid enough to make a good impact. It didn't have any major red flags. Just he got stood up a play. Didn't look like he had the best anchor. Just worth taking in the fourth because he had some very positive aspects as well. Just test him out. It's a 4th round pick. Number 122 with Washington. Now, this is a team I could see him going after a slot cornerback like THT that has, again, that heritage of the Tomlinson name. That's exactly where we're going to go. Test it out. Why not? Have a little bit of fun. Number 123 with the Raiders. This is another team that could have used a guy like Abraham Lucas. I don't think he fits their size. Actually, he fits the size build pretty well. But, 123 is probably the last spot I could see him going to. Another team that could have used some help on the line. Fortunately, I don't have him as I think Parham's UDFA. Tyrese, I have no idea yet. And then who else did I see that was UDFA? There was another guy I said, I think that was Vrabel. I might have, we'll get back to that. But looking at other guys, we could look at Kellen Diesch here. He's just too light. He's 300 pounds. I don't care what it says. He's 300 pounds. That might be the right move, but it doesn't seem like it's the right one right now. That seems very confusing to understand. Jack Campbell out of Iowa deserves a bit of respect. I think he's going to be taken a lot higher than people think. Damon Clark and Quay Walker are going to be also at the Senior Bowl. So we might see their draft stock jump a little bit because we get an extra game out of them. But still, we still have the Broncos on the board. And this is a team that could take somebody who has a lot of athleticism like Isaiah Foskey, and he's able to cover as well. That's why I think he was worth a 4th round pick. If I'm not mistaken, Foskey was one of the first dudes I saw late 4th. Here we are. This is a perfect team to let him nurture as well. He just has crazy ability. He can cover. He can do a lot of stuff. Big fan of him. 125 with the Bills. Yeah, I think you might as well just get Phidarian Mathis at this point. Just big ass dude who's clogging up the middle. Big fan of what Phidarian Mathis could do. Should be going later, but this is a team that desperately needs somebody who's big enough in that interior. They have a bunch of guys who are sub 300. You're finally getting a guy who is a proven veteran at 320 pounds. Now, 126 for the Texans. This, honestly, like I was talking about earlier, Tyler Badie could be a really good option for this team. I do like him a lot. Eric Gray as well, somebody who I want to give a shout out to, but Tyler Badie deserves a bit of respect. He's a very solid running back. I think we do see a run on running backs in the mid rounds just because A, that's the way the draft works now, but B, it's a pretty deep running back class. Not very good running back class, but a very deep one. And spending a 4th round pick on somebody, it's not the end of the world. Number 127 with the Cowboys. Cade Otton's still here. It wouldn't be a sin to go after Cade Otton at this point. And I don't think that's a bad move. You get extra tight end depth. I know that there's I think Dalton Schultz might be up for a contract this year. He'll get it, but always having a third option there at Cade Otton in case contracts go south or holding out, never a bad option. I think he's a very solid tight end, especially for the 4th round. I just don't like when he gets 2nd round hype or 3rd round hype. Like you're mid to late 4th at best. And that's exactly where he goes. Also, another guy who I could see going is Grant Calcaterra in maybe the later rounds to the Cowboys. Just again, really close. SMU is right next to Arlington. So there's a lot of connections right there. 128 back with the Browns. This is a team that honestly I would have loved to have gotten them some offensive line help. That's not the case anymore. Again, Alec Lindstrom off the board. Tyrese Robinson, we need to look at him a little bit more. But it's the way the draft works. I think maybe another linebacker wouldn't be a bad idea. You can get somebody who's built a little bit more for coverage, and that guy is Owen Pappoe. I think getting more linebacker depth is probably the best move for this team at this point. See how it goes. You could go with maybe another edge, but honestly, I don't think you're getting much better value than Owen Pappoe. That the only reason he's here, because he's second round value, is because he had a season-ending injury. That's it. Really good linebacker out of Auburn. Just a much better version of what I was hoping for in Zakoby McClain. 129. This is a team that also could have taken Cade Otton, is the Titans. Now, this is a team where I honestly don't think that they cared too much about weight. Kellen Diesch might be their perfect option to get a solid backup left tackle. And I think that's exactly where they go. My problem with Kellen Diesch is that I'm not that big of a fan of his anchor. He looks really skinny, but this is a team that you're going to get a little bit bigger on this offensive line. And B, you took a guy last year out of North Dakota State who had size issues. So getting a guy like Kellen Diesch seems not out of the question. Number 130 with the Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers, you guys definitely should be going an extra linebacker in here. Unfortunately, we already took Jack Campbell, who I would love on the squad. I would love him. So that leaves Brian Asamoah, who's going to be at the Senior Bowl. That's going to be fun. Micah McFadden, as well as Damon Clark, Quay Walker. And Quay Walker honestly might be pretty fun to get. He's a bigger linebacker. It's gonna be an interesting fit because I know they like their more athletic, leaner linebackers. So you can look at both Damon as well as Quay for good options here. Wide receiver depth wouldn't be a bad option though. With the guys who you might lose, getting somebody else wouldn't be a terrible thing to do. And I think Xavier Hutchinson is going to get a little bit of hype. Same thing with Dontario Drummond, but Xavier Hutchinson just completely dominated one game. And at his size, at his age, very well might be worth taking at this point. 131 with the Ravens, another team that could have used Phidarian Mathis, did not. I think that we might be going over to a guy like Corey Durden here. I just don't understand why he is so underrated. I know there's been some injury history with him, but Corey Durden is absolutely nasty on the interior, and that's where he's going to go. 132 with the Packers. Packers, this is a team where, again, you can go a multitude of routes. I honestly think I'm going to go after a guy like Damon Clark or Quay Walker, and I think that they've had a history of drafting LSU players. So we're going to be going that route. Also drafted a Georgia corner last year, but I think Damon Clark has all that you're looking for. You see him, he has experience, he has the size, he has the age. I think that's perfect spot for him to go. Patriots, they're going to just snag somebody and make them to a 5-star prospect. I already know that, but wide receiver still in need. Reggie Roberson has a crazy work ethic. But honestly, Kyle Phillips seems like a Patriots guy. Excellent blocker, has solid enough athleticism, works his tail off, and has a pretty good route running toolkit. So I think that's going to get him drafted, and he's probably going to be early day 3 for it. Number 134, we're back with the damn Ravens. What's up with the damn Ravens, man? Shoot. The Ravens are everywhere. This is where I would have liked to draft a larger wide receiver. However, I'm going to trade out of this pick because there are some really good guys still left on the board. Still have some solid linebackers, running backs. Those are probably it. That's just kind of the way this draft has fallen. We've already taken the majority of the solid edge rushers. Ollie Gay is still here, so a team might want to move up for Ollie Gay. But we have another Ravens pick. What is the deal here? Look at that. Ravens oh my God. These aren't even traded Ravens picks. That is ridiculous. So here we are. Welcome to the 4th, everybody, where the Ravens have 1,000 picks. But teams do need guys like Britton Brown for an RBBC, for a power back. Eric Gray, really solid receiving back. I think that he might be one of the most underrated players in this draft because he deserves to be probably a late third. He is really talented. So looking at teams that would probably want him, Texans might as well, because the Ravens have 1 billion picks here. You might as well see if they can finesse their way into this round, maybe offering a 7th and then asking for a 7th in return. Not the end of the world here. So the Ravens accept the offer, allowing the Texans to move in, and they already took Tyler Badie, son of a biscuit. Regardless, that's the only problem with having so many damn picks is that you forget when you trade up. They still need a corner though. So this isn't all for naught because there are some really good ones left on the board. You know what? We're going to say Storm Doc does come out and we're going to take him here. Go back on my word, but that's okay. We're having a little bit of fun with the end of the round. Also, this team does need a corner pretty desperately, so it's not that much of a sin. With the Packers, though, I think best player available might be the best move, and I think we just took Damon Clark. I would still consider taking a guy, a slot corner might not be a bad idea. I know they like guys with size, but a guy like Quay Walker wouldn't be a terrible idea. Barno is overrated as I'll get go. This is just a really tough spot. It's a really tough spot to be in. I would look at maybe another tackle, but overall, it's like, ugh, I wouldn't want to be in this position. Bottom line, I'm not a huge fan of the depth of this draft. So we're going to go with the one guy who I actually kind of believe in. That's Ali Gay out of LSU. 136 with the Bengals. I think this might be a good spot to just take a tackle and see what happens. That guy's Abina Eze. He needs years of development, but this is probably the right team to develop on, and he's going to be able to continue to grow here. 137 with the good old Ravens again. Very irritating. I think that looking for a guy with some size like Trey Turner might be a really fun option. However, I think Alec Pierce might be the dude who steals the show. Really good deep threat. He has some issues with his hands sometimes, and sometimes he looks like a god with it. So he might just be the guy who sneaks in to the 4th out of Cincinnati. Now, 138, we're back. I think this is best player available. This is going to be Quay Walker out of Georgia. Micah McFadden, certainly somebody who I'd want to factor in here, but Quay Walker certainly deserves some respect. Now, a team like the Saints, honestly, I know they got Melvin Ingram back. That doesn't mean I wouldn't take a running back here, and a guy like Britton Brown is perfect for the scheme. So we're going to take Britton Brown here. 140, this is where Micah McFadden goes. I think this is a good guy to at least have on your lineup. I like his coverage ability. I like his overall aspect of his game. There's a lot to like about what Micah McFadden brings to the table. So we're seeing a lot of the same positions. However, positions like corner, safety, even edge are a little bit barren now. So you got quarterback as well, barren, wide receiver, barren. So you got running back, not even tight end for the most part, and not even offensive line. The draft is pretty barren. That's the unfortunate thing. That's why I don't usually like doing this 4th round. Haven't found many dudes who I am ecstatic about. D'Angelo Malone, I've heard some very good things about, though. O'Shawn Mathis as well. But forgot about this guy. This guy had like 6 sacks in the game. Michael Clemens out of Texas A&M. Yeah, this guy's a beast. So definitely worth taking at this point. Probably would have taken him next for the Cowboys as well. But speaking of the Cowboys, this is a team that could use somebody who is good in terms of depth. Josh Jobe certainly ain't something special. Tyreek Stevenson is not bad. He's not. I don't think he's terrible. Tywan Mullen deserves a little bit of respect too. Just he's a bit small. Chamari Corner, though. Again, it's a VT corner, so it's somebody who I think I would like to have on my team. I know that we could just go back to the Alabama train, but honestly, we need to talk about this guy, Chamari Connor. I haven't done a deep tape study on him, but again, you look at the size, you look at the heritage, how he's trained, really good floor to build from. So I'm going to take him. End of the draft, might as well. So let me know what you guys think. There was a lot of picks in this one. It's been quite fun. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.